Set monthly themes. This is an interesting one. I found this to be incredibly useful for me, especially when it came to permanently solving problems in my life. So, I am one that likes the art of solving problems permanently. And what I have found is that what you can do for that is you can set themes for each month around what problems you want to solve, but also not just problems, but things you want to learn, things you want to do, but set one specific focus for by the end of this month, I will have grown in this way, or I would have accomplished this, or I would have learned this. Find what that is for you. I remember back in November, I had a really bad ego backlash. If you don't know what that is, that's what happens when you grow so much and when you're so on track with your life, with your personal development journey, that the homeostasis, your inner barometer, your inner thermostat, brings you back to your baseline, to your normal, to your previous self, which was, the more mediocre self. And it's every time you try to make a change in your life, it's like a spring. Where, the more change you try to make, the more you pull on that spring, the more force it will pull back. And when you have an ego backlash, that's when the spring has reached so much force that it springs back and even goes in the opposite direction. So you back, one step forward, two steps back, that kind of thing. You start picking up bad habits, all that stuff. So I was going through that. I was going through an ego backlash where my habits were just, screwed up. I wasn't my sleep schedule was just beyond fucked. I was distracting myself with YouTube, and it was bad. And just a month prior, I was way better. But that experience was necessary for me to realize, okay, I could set a way higher standard. I don't want to have this ever happen again. So for December, in November, I set a goal for December. In December, I want this problem fixed. I don't want to struggle again with any forms of burnout or whatever, or I want to learn how to lock in my productivity. And so what I did was, okay, if I was going to solve this problem permanently, how would I go about it? And for me, it was okay, I'm going to get a life coach. So I got one life coaching session, and I've solved that problem ever since. That's simple. It's just not rocket surgery here. Sometimes we just need to make a clear, clean-cut decision. They're all right, I need to focus on this one thing, this one problem. How can I make sure I don't have this problem ever again? If I need to purchase a session where I, get some outside help, then do it. If that will solve the problem, go for it, One of my favorite things in self-improvement is when I can just throw some money at a problem and then I can get an easy solution. For example, I remember when I finally put the last nail in the coffin for destroying my YouTube addiction. It was just buying a second phone, where I made one phone for my work and one for my distractions. So the one that I carried around for work was just always on me. And then, I didn't have that temptation, that like a crack pipe in my pocket, ready to smoke, or a cookie in my pocket, ready to eat, that instant dopamine hit, right? Simple stuff like that, right? That's like setting the intention of, all right, this month I'm going to find a way to completely destroy my addiction to YouTube. By the end of this month, I will have completely conquered it. Simple as that, And, to not be discouraged, you can still make it to the end of the month and maybe not completely solve the problem. That's okay, because if you even had that intention behind it, you would have probably made 90% of the progress that is required to actually make that significant change in your life, right? And so using this technique, for me at least, I have found that I've been able to grow even faster. Because it's all about having that intentionality behind all of your actions. When you have like a theme for the month, you somehow manage to summon that motivation to make tough decisions that's going to solve that problem permanently, or to lock in that permanent change for yourself. Like for me, it was a tough decision actually to get some life coaching. It's like, oh, well, spending money and whatever, it's like 100 something per session or whatever. I didn't really care, because what was more valuable to me was being able to lock in a permanent change of myself, and I think that's something that we massively underestimate when it comes to personal investment. I actually really do believe in the idea of spending 10% of your income just on your own personal development, buying books, to actually read, buying a well-selected course that you'll actually complete, and getting some life coaching, doing solo retreats, doing meditation retreats, right? Traveling and doing psychedelic retreats, right? It's just the most valuable thing here is your direct experience. So anything you can do to change, and to enhance that, that's going to be things that you add to your character. And so don't underestimate just throwing some money to improve yourself. And don't underestimate the power of just throwing some money just to permanently solve a problem. Sometimes it is more painful to keep having a problem than, it was to just, for the pain that it took to acquire that money in the first place. So in conclusion, from now on, every new month that you have, if you're in the middle of the month when you watch this, then just decide what the theme of the month is. In mid-month, doesn't fucking matter. What's the theme? This month I'm gonna make a shitload of progress on my book, right? So what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do 5 hours of writing a day. All right. Or this month I'm gonna quit my smoking addiction. I'll go and travel somewhere if I need, to get an ibogaine treatment, or hopefully I said that right, or get a life coach just on quitting smoking, right? Or this month I'm going to quit my porn addiction, or this month I'm going to quit my addiction to drinking. This month I'm going to lock in a daily practice routine such that I practice my speaking or my writing or my painting. Make these declarations to yourself and write it. Have a physical calendar and actually write, theme of the month, and put it somewhere that you see every day. Try that one on for size. All right. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.